Is the cell that Nnamdi Kanu's brother was staying when we were arrested in October, that Malami is staying. So those of you who are in power, who are enjoying impunity, just know that one day impunity will come to your front door. And he has refused to even process his bail because he's afraid of, is to tell you that whenever there's oppression, it will go full circle. So those of you who are in power, who are enjoying impunity, just know that one day impunity will come to your front door. Because Malami abducted me in court, in the federal high court here, after I was granted bail. And today now, Malami was granted bail. Malami has refused to process his bail because he doesn't even know what is happening outside of the Kuje prison door. And it happens that when I was detained there, it was Malami that sent me there. That time, the place they called the VIP, a special area, and I used to be a death row cell, But they have converted it. I heard Abakari went and developed the place. When we were there in October, my friend Ima, the younger brother of Nnamdi Kanu, was put in that particular place. Now Malami is enjoying the place. I hope he will pay Prince for putting deodorants in the cell so that he can breathe.
Come and serving Malami, kunu haya. And now Malami is complaining. Malami is even afraid to perfect his bail. He's hiding in Kuje. So, and why am I saying this? This is for the oppressors of today. That Malami should serve as an example that power is very transient. That because we are in power today, that because you are in power today does not mean that you'll be in power tomorrow. That what is happening to Malami is small compared to what is going to also happen to you. So, and that those who are experts in violating other people's rights, that when they leave power, they will also need these fundamental rights that we are all shouting about. And that no matter what you do, one thing I've come to realize and appreciate about Omoyele Sowore is that the more you vilify him, the more you attack him, the more he's resolved in doing what he's doing.
So these are lead lawyer to the Master Abubakar. He'll give you better.
Yeah. Happy New Year, everyone. It's our earnest belief that the police needs policing. The Nigerian police force are so used to acting with reckless impunity that they have forgotten that their powers is circumscribed by law and the Constitution. Like we emphasized and restated the optimum time, the police has no right or authority to arrest, detain, or to charge any person who has committed no offense. The Supreme Court has stated in the Pretorial of Authorities that where a man is free, that man is free indeed and has no business visiting or being detained in prison. Unfortunately, the Nigerian police force believes that their power to investigate and to prosecute is at large and that they cannot be held accountable whenever they run foul of the fundamental right of Nigerians. Like we stated, a man that has committed no crime has no reason to be charged to court. Protest is a fundamental right. That is the threshold. The court has insisted in the Pretorial of Authorities that Nigerians have the liberty and the right to protest and demand for a change of obnoxious government policies and to demand that the government acts in consonance with the law. Where Nigerians elect to exercise that right of protests or the right to demand for accountability in governance, the police, the DSS, and other security agencies has no power to clamp down on such legitimate protests, to arrest persons who take part in such protests, and to charge them to court in the first place. Where this has been done, such an action is a violation and a direct assault on the Constitution. That was what was done to our friends who took part in the Free Nnamdi Kanu protest. And it was on that basis that we filed the suit to remedy the rights of Nigerians who took part in that protest. Arresting Nigerians for taking part in protest is unlawful, and having failed to justify the arrest in the first place, the court has now been called upon to look into that particular issue and to remedy the wrong that has been done to our comrades.
Well, Kama is actually haunting Malami relentlessly today because the very detention cell he once used to oppress others has now become the place where he finds himself. I mean, his home, with his children, with his family. The court has, granted Malami an option for bail. Yet, one cannot help but ask, why has he not perfected the bail to regain his freedom? The answer appears obvious. His hands are not clean. Any attempt to secure his bail may further, implicate him, dragging his family and associate deeper into the mess. In this case, Justice Nwite has already made his position very crystal clear. He warned that he is not approachable and that no one should come to him to discuss Malami's matter. According to the judge, he has done more than enough for Malami already. Now, this situation should serve as a serious lesson, especially to Nigerian politicians. Below are the 10 critical lessons Nigerian politicians must learn from Malami's current ordeal, which is largely a consequence of the wicked and inhuman policies he pursued while serving as Nigeria's Attorney General of the Federation, especially his handling of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case, which was widely criticized, and of course, how he handled the case of most of the human rights cases he had with Omoyele Sowore, which he poorly managed. He lacked the compassion and completely void of humanity upon. At the time, Malami showed no remorse and believed power would protect him forever. Today, the tables have turned. The man who once wielded the law with that conscience now finds himself crying the reverse of the same injustice he helped create. Now, here are the 10 things Nigerian politicians should learn from Malami's current situation with clear explanations. First, power is temporal. Now, no matter how powerful you become, your time in office will end. Positions, escorts, and influence fade, but the consequences of your actions remain. Malami once wielded enormous power as Attorney General. Today, that power offers him no shade. Secondly, the law will eventually catch up. You can bend the law for a while when you are in power, but you cannot break it forever. When the same legal system you manipulated turns against you, there will be no place to hide. Third, injustice has memory. Oppressing people through unlawful detentions, selective persecutions, or political vendettas create records, witnesses, and victims. Time does not erase injustice, it documents it. And today Malami is facing this documentation for his bad actions. Fourth, bail is not freedom. Being granted bail does not mean innocence. When your conscience is heavy and your actions are questionable, even freedom becomes risky. So sometimes walking out of detention opens more doors to self-incrimination, and Malami is likely following in that path today. Fifth, judges are not always approachable. Politicians often assume judges can be influenced any day, anyhow. When a judge publicly declares independence, as in this case, it shows that judicial integrity still exists and cannot always be bought or pressured. Sixth, abuse of office always backfires. Now, using public office to settle scores, suppress dissent, or target opponents may seem effective in the moment, but it plants the seeds of future downfall. Abuse of power is a boomerang. It returns without force. Seventh, human rights are not optional. Now, respect for human rights is not a favor, it is a duty. Ignoring due process and humanity, especially in the sensitive cases like that of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, erodes the moral authority of the state and exposes officials to future accountability. And Malami is actually facing that today. Moving to number 8 is to know that silence in power becomes noise in trouble. When politicians are powerful, they ignore public criticism. When trouble comes, the same voices they silence become loud reminders of their past actions, and Malami is actually facing it today. Moving to number 9 is to know that family and associates are not immune. Your actions do not affect you alone. When legal trouble begins, family members, aides, and allies are often dragged into the spotlight. Power cannot protect those around you forever, and Malami is facing that with his wife and his son today. Now to number 10 is to know that karma is real in public life. I mean, whether you call it karma, justice, or consequences, the principle is the same. What you do to others will one day return to you. Public office amplifies both good and evil, and the reckoning is usually public as well. And as Omoyele Sowore rightly pointed out, this is not just about Malami. It is about history coming back to knock. What a man does to others will one day stand before him as an evidence. The same oppression, cruelty, and disregard for humanity that Malami unleashed on others is now haunting him in a broad daylight. But then let us ask the uncomfortable question Nigerians are afraid to ask. If Malami were still in APC today, the ruling party, would he be facing this ordeal? The honest answer is capital no. He would not. Power would have covered him. Silence would have protected him. And the system would have looked the other way. And that is where the Nigerian justice system becomes deeply rotten. Justice is often not blind. It is always politically selective. The law moves swiftly against the powerless and slowly or not at all against those protected by the power. Still, this moment must not be wasted. It should remind us that no political party owns justice forever. Government changes, power shifts from one political party to the other, and fear eventually changes sides. What is happening today should be a warning to those still in the office abusing authority. Tomorrow may not be kind. Nigeria deserves a system where justice is not negotiated, where the law is not partisan, and where humanity comes before politics. We may be far from that today, but we must continue to hope, to speak, and to demand change. Please don't forget, this is about perspectives, your domain for unfiltered news and raw political analysis. If you found this very brief and insightful, do not forget to smash the subscribe button, subscribe to this very channel, and turn on the notification so you would always get notified whenever a new update is dropped. And please do not forget to leave us with your comment. What do you think? What is your opinion about this very camera hunting Malami battle? Thank you for your time and thank you for watching.